Hey guys, welcome back to the Matt to Million channel, and this video is going to be a little bit different from the normal ones. As in this video, I'm going to take you through the exact amount that I earned that YouTube paid me for my very first month monetized with just over 2,000 subscribers, which was last month, March 2021. Now I know from the people that reach out to me, that comment, that contact me on Instagram, most people that watch my channel were pretty entrepreneurial alongside being keen traders. Many people have said that they're considering creating a YouTube channel or asked me a few questions about it or how much you actually do earn from it and all this kind of stuff. And the amount that people earn from YouTube is a hot topic at the moment, and I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there. So as I said, in this video I'm going to take you through exactly how much I earned in March, and I'm also going to be working it out and giving you some context in terms of the amount of time I put into it to earn the amount that I did. Now guys, as always, if you are enjoying this channel and you are enjoying the content, please just smash that likes up button. It makes a huge difference to supporting this channel and letting YouTube know that you do want a bit more. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure that you click on the alerts and notifications so as you don't miss when I post my next videos. Okay, so let's move in. How much did I actually earn from my YouTube channel? Now, for reference, my very first video was actually released at the end of June 2020, and I'm filming this as of today, which is April the 9th, 2021, so it's been roughly 10 months. Now in this video I'm just going to focus on the ad revenue that I've earned from the YouTube channel, but if you are interested in my monetization journey and everything I learned from it, then do just reach out and let me know, and potentially I can make a video about it in the future. Now before I start bringing up the screens and the reveal all, I'd be really keen to see what you thought I earned in my first month monetized. Now I know I had some preconceptions or some ideas of what I would earn when I very first started out on this YouTube journey, but I'm always super interested to hear what other people think. So I'm just going to pause for a minute here, or hit pause on the video, and just go down to the comment section and just put a figure in pounds or in dollars or whatever currency you think of how much you think I earned in ad revenue from YouTube in my very first month monetized. Done it? Cool. Okay, so let's go for the big reveal. How much money did I actually earn from YouTube in my first month monetized? I know the suspense is killing you. I mean, it's killing me, and I know the figures. So let's see what I earned. And as you can see on here, I earned a whopping £232.45. Now I'm just going to stay on the revenue tab, which is what you can see here in terms of breaking that down. For those that are interested in to break it down in a bit more depth, so as you understand what you're looking at from the YouTube studio, is on the right you see the CPM, which is essentially what they call the cost per mil or milli, and that is what YouTube actually earn from the ad revenue themselves from your videos. So that in itself is a good indicator of what they're earning, but it ultimately doesn't really tell you how much you earn. So if you move to the middle, we can see that we've got the RPM. Now the RPM is actually the revenue per million. That is the one that is most relevant to me. So that is how much I earn per 1,000 views. So the CPM is how much YouTube earn per 1,000 views, and the RPM is how much I earn per 1,000 views. So as you can see here, I've earned around just under £6 per 1,000 views. Now I know a lot of people were probably expecting that to be bigger, but the reality is that figure isn't set either. That changes depending on the day, the week, the month, and also whereabouts in the year it is, and kind of who's advertising at that point in time. So now I'm going to flip it into the lifetime model. So that's in terms of like how much I've earned ever since. So even the back end of February, when I started earning money, up to today, the first week of April and whatnot. What is actually my lifetime figure? What are my earnings for that entire period on my monetization journey? Now for me at this point it's been about 10 months, but just to put this into perspective, I would say on average when I create a video it takes around 7 hours. Now there are certain videos that take a hell of a lot longer, especially when you're relaying very specific information and whatnot, and some are a little less, but generally if we factored in sort of the idea generation, the actual scripting, the actual filming, the setting up, the taking down, the editing, the thumbnails, everything that comes with it, I'd say on average it's about 7 hours per video. So looking at the lifetime stuff, you can see here that I've earned about £304, and to put that into perspective, I've actually created 38 videos to get to that point. Now if we actually apply that to logic in terms of like earnings, and we turned it into an hourly rate, that's around 266 hours worth of effort and creation and whatnot, and so for an hourly rate I'm earning at roughly £1.14. So there we go. It's probably not the most flattering figure in the world, but it just gives you an idea of roughly what your hours are worth when you're really trying to build this YouTube channel. I mean, it is pretty mad when you think of it like that. I mean, if somebody told me that before, Don't know if we'll still be here now. But of course, those figures are skewed because there was a lot of that where I wasn't monetized, and obviously part of the effort is to get monetized, and you need to prove that to YouTube, to prove that you can release something of value, you know, where YouTube can promote it and, you know, advertisers are willing to advertise on there. So if we just take a look realistically at March, and that was where you saw before that I'd earned £232. In March, I'd made 5 videos. So on that rate of 7 hours average, it took me about 35 hours input to try and get those 5 videos out, and I earned 232 quid. So if we average all of that out, it works to a rough hourly wage of £6.64. And just for your own reference and just for a bit of a laugh, if we look at the minimum wage for people that are over 25 in the UK, it's around £8.91. So I'm a good sort of couple of quid off where I need to be. So of course the natural question is, well, is it worth it? Like, what is the point? You know, especially when you're doing a trading channel and whatnot, you'd be thinking, well, why on earth have you put in 35 hours and only earned 200 quid and all the rest of it? Now, ultimately, here's my thinking. This channel is created as a personal finance channel, you know, with a heavy focus on trading and all of my experiences and trying to be as open and as honest as possible. Now, I was never expecting this to be a viable income source, or at least nothing comparable to what you can earn in terms of the returns on the trading. So many people's question and opinion may be, well, why do you bother? And my answer is, well, why do we bother doing anything? You know, we don't do absolutely everything for the top line figure that we're going to earn. You know, ultimately, I made this channel for a multitude of different reasons, but I've been absolutely humbled by the following that I've created here on YouTube and also on Instagram, and the amount of great conversations, you know, analysis that's been shared, even debates that I've had. It's been a really, really refreshing and cool thing to be a part of. And that's one aspect that I really enjoy of it. And ultimately, I just enjoy creating the videos. All of that I've just described there, I would never have met certain people, I would never have got inspiration from certain people without having created this social presence on here. Yes, it comes with its woes, but ultimately it's something that I enjoy doing. I also noticed just from when I was watching, there's only really a few people that I really watch on YouTube where I'd class them as being, you know, honest and creating content-rich videos. You know, they're actually trying to provide some decent value for people that are willing to sit through them and listen to them. And that was the area that I really went for. You know, I wanted to share my own experiences, being able to put together videos that actually had content, you know, actually had things that were useful for people, you know, rather than just copying what others were doing in the hope of trying to get rich. So could I ever be a full-time YouTuber? Absolutely not. I have no idea how people do this for a living. I understand how you can rack up your following and probably earn a few quid and all that sort of stuff. But generally, you know, it can become all consuming. You know, from what I've done, I've enjoyed. But with all the good stuff does come the bad, you know, especially in this space. You know, you're constantly, you know, under scrutiny, you know, as if you're, you know, trying to fraud people, or as some sort of elaborate scam, or that, you know, you're just using clickbait titles and all this sort of stuff. And just because of what other people have done to the industry, you kind of get tarred with the same brush. So yeah, I mean, look, it's one of those things where it's a really, really cool thing to do, but you've really got to have your head screwed on and have a bit of a thick skin before you get into it. Which brings me on to the final question, which is, would I advise somebody to create their YouTube channel? Absolutely. I mean, why not? It's something that I've really enjoyed. It's amazing being able to get under the nuts and bolts of what makes YouTube work. You know, seeing people actually get something from the content that you're putting out is something that's fairly, you know, untouchable. You can't really do it anywhere else. And it's also a platform that when you put this out, although you can earn from ad revenue, ultimately for the viewer it's free. Yes, I mean, they say, you know, if you're not buying the product, you are the product, and that is true to a degree, but that's just how the new modern world of advertising works. So if you know exactly what sort of channel you want to do and what values and things you want to represent on it, I say go for it and be true to yourself and keep to it. If you're looking at it as a sort of a passive income stream, first of all, it's not very passive. And second of all, if you're thinking that you're just going to be able to put a few clickbait titles up there and copy what people with 1 million followers that are getting millions of views are doing and just get rich over a couple of weeks, it isn't going to happen. These people have built up those followings over huge amounts of time. And the reason that their clickbait titles get clicked is because they have such a high profile, so they are suggested to viewers. When you first start out, your video gets suggested to very, very few people. So clickbait titles without the substance behind it, really, you're over before you've even started. My biggest advice to anybody thinking of creating a YouTube channel is don't be ignorant to the amount of work and consistency it takes to release good, consistent, valuable content. It isn't a walk in the park, and it is very easy to just get despondent after a couple of months when you're getting absolutely no views. But the biggest one of all is know that within yourself is that you can take take the criticism, that you can take the abuse from people, that you can take the doubt. Because the way I see it is that everybody doesn't know me. You know, I know myself, I know whether I'm being genuine, and I know what experiences I've gone through and the hard work that I've put in to get somewhere. But for somebody else, it's very easy for them to defame that and sort of the whole defamation of character thing. If you are sensitive to that, YouTube and creating a channel where you actually have to put so much work into it probably isn't the best way to go. Because you need to remember, no matter how much effort you put in, no matter how great your content is, no matter how much value you provide, there is always somebody that is either bitter, doesn't agree, or will always try and bring you down in criticism in comments, disliking the video and all this sort of stuff. This is part of open society. Everybody's allowed an opinion, but if you know that you're going to get offended by it, that is a real sticking point, and you won't enjoy the YouTube journey. To a degree, you've got to put your thick skin on, you've got to be confident in what you're doing and also what the majority of your feedback is. Don't focus on the one bad comment, focus on the 50 good ones. But hopefully this has been a bit of an eye-opener, giving you an idea in terms of like what I've earned over what time frame, if it is something you're considering. Hopefully it's maybe warned people off that are like 50-50 and that think maybe it isn't worth their time, or maybe it's inspired a few of you that think actually you're in for the long run and you can see that it is possible. From a guy that started from nothing, I had zero social media presence, zero nothing, and I've got to this point, albeit not very impressive. But if it's a sort of similar route that you want to follow, then hopefully it's giving you a bit of inspiration. Now, normal service will resume on this channel. Obviously, this channel is dedicated to personal finance and trading. Now, this was a bit of a tenuous link to that because I know people have showed some interest, but we'll be back to the normal trading videos. Some of the videos are going to be upcoming are FTMO withdrawals. We're going to be looking at back testing, the second part of the back testing video. I'm also looking at the Guru review. The first one up will be the Falcon FX review. And I'll also be discussing about sort of FTMO or prop traders and getting a mortgage in the UK and the sorts of things that you need to consider there. But guys, as always, if you've enjoyed this video, if you are enjoying the content and the channel in general, then please smash that likes up button. It makes a huge difference for me as a creator and for this channel to keep moving forward. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and make sure you've got those alerts and notifications turned on so you don't miss that next video or the series of next videos that I just mentioned. If you do have any questions, comments, abuse, then stick it in the comment section below, and I try to get back to most of the comments within 24 to 48 hours after the video is released. If not, grab me on my Instagram at Mattsamillion, where I post daily live updates and I try and get through most of my DMs on a weekly basis too. But if I don't speak to you before, have a great week and I'll catch you on the next video. Take it easy.